one of the most beautiful aspects of those who are lovers who dance, and so functional adults, they know how to do the tango. That's because they have those 6 basic emotions in the forefront, and so they use that left and right brain, and they use it with the knowingness of handling the charge. It does not mean that we're perfect. We all have emotional triggers. It means that we do work in order to achieve the Zen mastery, because again, 5D mystics, I am in the spectrum of that Enlightenment soul age group, so it ain't coming as a basic, let's do better. No, it's actually the collective of 5D mystics. In fact, today has had a great message, and I could feel it waking up. And so we're all emotionally able to mature or be immature. We're all emotionally able to be insecure or secure. Working to achieve the maximum potential of being yourself is through your own choice of how to handle that charge. Now, some of us love button people. We've done it naturally. So you will only find compassion beyond a reason. And the primary threat emotion that a person who was a love button growing up will be sadness. So there's no rumination and there's no sitting in human suffering, because the body and mind of a person who's a love button maintains an alignment with that Purusha Prakriti. We unconsciously love ourselves with flaws and imperfections, and we feel our energy body. So we're tending to ourselves moderately, and those hints and nudges from the consciousness sphere, Akash, we don't use that word as we're growing up, but now that I'm a grown up and I do know the word and I do know the nudging, I've seen Sadhguru laugh a little bit when he's mentioning it. And again, Sadhguru is a spirituality guru, we all know that, but it's to distinguish, because the Enlightenment soul age group, I didn't do any spirituality stuff until I actually did some of his stuff, his courses, which are awesome. But see, here's where a love button person, when I did yoga, I was like, okay, yeah, this is fantastic, but I'm not really seeing or feeling anything too major. Yes, it's expanded the way I can consciously, I can feel my light body. And when you realize that it's because I've never lost this alignment of the mastery of my physical, energy, mental bodies, I have in fact maintained my values and my heart body, the essence of life and love. So always being in alignment with yourself, it's called being a functional adult. Even when you're not an adult, because emotionally, it's called you using your verbal, the left mode, your nonverbal, thank you, Daniel Siegel, for that. And your nonverbal is all the emotions and sensations, images, thoughts, feelings come up. And you have a corpus callosum that connects the two. And when you allow yourself to integrate your brain, which is the optimization of human well-being, integration of the brain, restorative embodied self, raise your hand, and that's it. And yes, that's it. Now, some people get pissy when that's it. No, it's not. What about human suffering? So the shame button, which is not a funny button, it's a defectiveness at the heart of an infant who begins growing up in a way that does not satisfy our attachment system, humanly speaking. 4D like to make up those energy vampires, meat eaters, and all the whole stuff of the devil and demons. And, this is a story that's gone on, I think, far enough, with our scientific methodology being pretty good at proving things, thank goodness, in their empirical way, and they're still going to. So knowledge always goes through transformation. And people who treat science like religion, they don't count as educators, because they're treating something as if it's a fact, when we all know that empirical data will continue to prove something. So we'll see what they proved if we really want to be sticklers, and we won't go to the conspiracy theory people. Because unfortunately, if you have an enemy, meaning you think there's a bad guy out there, or gal, or they, I'm going to know you have a bias. And now your information is tainted with it. And I'm going to notice it in the mannerism in which you're presenting it. So here's where the Zen masters, the 5D collective, the people who use, because I'm not looking to you to tell me what life is. I'm looking to you to say, educate me, empower me, and then maybe we'll talk about what you're saying. And it doesn't matter what level of expertise you have. I know that you don't know everything, nor do I. And if you treat me in any way, shape, or form as an arrogant little quote-unquote prick, you better bet that I will consider you not in any way, shape, or form leadership material. Now, I'm 43, and actually the more I grew up, the more like, I think that I'm not really sure that word should be used, because I see a lot of people not looking to help the entire planet. Yes, I said it, the entire planet and humanity. All I hear is people creating stories about humans a parasite, humans this, humans that. Finally, I started to see 5D educators like, thank goodness. I was wondering where you all were. But they were all doing research the right way, not the way that, again, other people do, which is add stories to research. The story is not research, it's a story. So let me stay calm, because right now I'm thinking about all the people who talk about the masses, and then there's this one very, very horrible, very bad TV. It wasn't even a documentary, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut, because when I saw all the people who rushed off like the masses, it's like, wow, you're all going to come back. You do know that, right? And I'm thinking, and how did you not notice what they just did to you? Like, they did a whole bunch of music and story. Like, how do you not use that brain? And people believe they can be manipulated. So there you go. We all manipulate words, as I've learned from basic psychology, people who know about people. But, go figure. Oh, wait, that's right. Thank you, Patrick Tiahan. The adaptive child, those who have unresolved trauma, they will use words, quote unquote. He's kind. He says sophisticated. But then again, he's a trauma childhood survivor. So he went through the shame, defectiveness, heartbreak, gut wrench, tsunami. I don't have relationship with my basic emotions. I feel disconnected and off with them. So serious note, people who can't love immediately in their life, it's not because they don't want to tangle. It's because they don't know how to gauge healthy relationships, because they didn't get a mindful, healthy relationship. Their attachment system that longed for consistent, contingent communication just to be seen so it could be fed. Nobody apparently remembers we were all 0-year-olds, every human being on the face of this planet. They believe in aliens and, people being aliens and whatnot. And thank you, 4D community, for continuing that. I love being a mystic, because this is where, by 5D mystics, it's in your head, right? Please disengage from allowing your clairs to affect planet Earth, because your clairs are for your growth. You're erroneously using, in fact, your religious self-dreams, because you're not noticing that you're meant to work on your emotional body. People who are 4D mystics don't notice that they're supposed to work on, let me tend to my body, let me drink water, let me sit, let me work with the emotions that come up. When I began dreaming with my clairs, and I began following, and I still follow sources, that's why we have a 5D mystic community. And I understood my family, woo-woo, Maria, are you good? I'm like, I'm good. I'm going to doctors. I'm walking. I'm connected. I'm grounded. I ain't losing it. Do you see me losing shit? No. So I was not concerned or offended by my loved ones' concerns. I was knowing exactly where I was. And what I knew instinctively to do was to tend to my body, sleep, and have good work-life balance for me, not work-life balance with others. And so this is where, if you don't know your inner well-being, well, you're going to get into a lot of areas, which I've seen people do. They don't do growth. So it's been like about 4 to 6 years. I got 4D peeps. Yeah. They haven't moved 1 inch from what they began when they were activated into this beautiful plane. By the way, for 5D collective, our ascension is a beautiful process. Now, the people that I want to also include and support are the ones who it's not a beautiful process, because the trauma memory that comes up is very much, again, those disconnected emotions. Back to Patrick Tiahan, great therapist, who, again, is able to build a community and say, we all can have childhood trauma, get work, get help, and those who don't, leave them alone. You cancel if you have to, and he spells out, the cancel culture is actually not mature. When people have to disconnect from people they love, it's because they've tried time again and again with a therapist's help, or somebody who said, okay, let's try it this way, to tell them that this emotionally triggers you and that you need them to step back and to stop. There's conversations when you're grown up, because you can handle it. Obviously, some people need that extra support. And that's why, as Patrick says, the hurt people saying, he's like, it frustrates me. It seems like you're telling people it's okay. Instead, no, he creates this cute meme. Hurt people should, and I say they can, because should activates your fight flight, makes you think, oh, why are you telling me what to do? Which is natural for every self, because we're all an independent island here, but we're connected. Functional adults, and this is where we're going to end this one. Unconditional love, compassion, it's what helps people to dissolve the shame. So it's a collaborative me-we, as Daniel Siegel points out, effort. And every therapist I've learned from, with the trauma-informed and somatic-informed, if we don't work together to share how to be mature emotionally and to support triggers. So, like Sadhguru says, shit, we hug it out, we're still friends. This is what adults know how to do, and the whole world could do it. We're right now in the middle of it. I'm thinking we're going to get there again. So, for my 5D collective, join us on the podcast.